I call bullshit. Why aren't fat people skinny then? So the other day I made a video on how weighted walks are your cheat code to weight loss, to fitness, to strength, to conditioning, to all of these things. Like, you want to do one thing and one thing only, this would be my recommendation. If you only had, say, you came to me and you're like, I have 45 minutes, Lachlan, what's the one thing that I should do that's, well, going to deliver my most bang for my buck? That would be my answer. Weighted walks. Get 10% of, well, at least 10% of your body weight, and go out for 22 and a half minutes and then come back in 22 and a half minutes. This would be my recommendation. So I made this video and I went into details about how you structure all this and all this kind of stuff. And I got this comment. Granted, that's the cleaned up version. Feel there might be some mild fucking misogynistic undertones of this man, and so we're not gonna fuck with that because that's just fucked up. But the general gist of the statement was that, well, if it was as simple as weight and walking, why wouldn't fat people be skinny? And so here's the misconception, here's the misunderstanding with this one. And there are a few different points that I covered for this guy. And, well, to be honest, it wasn't about that dude. It was about sharing it with you guys, sharing with others who might have had the same thought. This guy seemed like a knob jockey, so, you know. Anyway, the points are as follows. So the first one is that when people who go from 0 to anything, they will lose weight. So, you know, if we're going to take an obese person, for example, and they start going for a walk, they are going to lose weight. But the catch on this one, and I have this happen with my clients as well, I've had it happen with a few of my clients now, is that once you do that, once you start losing weight, it isn't actually that easy. Like, it gets easier as you lose weight because you're lighter. It's less effort. You're getting stronger. You're getting fitter. And so the walks themselves are actually getting easier and more gentle and less effective. So if you go from, you know, sitting on the couch all day, eating food, not doing any form of exercise, just eating junk food and all this kind of stuff, and then you go, well, I'm going to go for a walk every single day, depending on how overweight you are, I've seen people lose up to 10 kilos just from doing this, and then they plateau. And the reason, well, there's multiple reasons, but the first reason for this is, well, they got fitter, they got stronger, they lost weight, they got lighter. So as they got further into it, not only did they get better at the exercise, and we know to continue to see results with exercise, you have to continually, progressively overload it. So not only are they not progressively overloading it, they are actually going the other way, progressively deloading it, because it's getting easier as they get fitter, as they get stronger, as they get healthier, as they lose weight. So it's getting easier as they go. And so this is why just walking with no weight, with no nothing, isn't actually a long-term effective solution. It is a great fucking start. If you're not doing anything is a good progression. Doing anything is a great fucking place to start. But it's not going to continue like that. And so I had one of my guys had this problem. And so towards the end of the initial 6 weeks Chasing Greatness program, the guy got up to, I think it was 28 kilos for his weighted walk. Fucking incredible. Like, massive amounts of weight to carry on his shoulders. And I was like, do you know the irony of this situation? And he's like, what? I was like, technically, if we're just going purely on weight, this is easier than when you first started. And he's like, no, it's fucking hard, it's killing me. And I was like, Yeah, I know, you're working really fucking hard. You are carrying an immense amount of weight. But it is actually easier because he'd started with a 11 kilo weight vest and then he'd lost 20 kilos. So he'd started at 11, he'd added 11 kilos to it, and then he was minus 20 kilos. So he was actually 3 kilos lighter than his first walk. And he's like, but it's really hard. And I was like, it is, and it's gonna be, and it's still doing the effective job. But in terms of weight being carried, you're actually easier and it's gentler than you were at the beginning. And this is where people miss this kind of thing, that the whole point of the weight vest is that it can continue to be progressed. Like, that's why we have progressions and standards in chasing greatness. If you reach a certain point, if you reach that you can cover 4.5 kilometers in 45 minutes, you need to increase that weight. We've now reached a point where that's too easy. But if you're just walking with your body weight, well, the more you do it and the better the weight loss, that spectrum comes down. And it gets easier and easier and easier as you do it. Not just because you're fitter, but because you're lighter. And this is why just walking as a long-term solution isn't going to work. The secondary thing is that most people treat walking like a super gentle exercise. Like it's, I'm going to go out for a gentle stroll and we're going to have a chat and we're just going to wander along and la-di-da along and very gentle. No. This is bar running. You are going out as fast as you can. You are power walking, like you are sending it. That's why it's the 22.5 minutes, why we have that timer, because you need to make sure that you go out as hard as you can and then you maintain that pace back. We aren't going for a gentle fucking stroll, which is what most people do when they go for a walk. They're just casually going out, or they take the dog for a walk and they let it sniff everything under the sun, or, you know, it's just out there. And as I said, it's still better than nothing. I will always take doing something over nothing. But if you want to get the most out of it, no, you need to fucking send it. You need to get out there and you're pushing it, and you need to try and get further every time, or heavier, or whatever it may be. We're going to treat it like any other form of exercise, and we are going to try and progressively overload it. We are trying to improve it every single time. We are trying to get better. That's the whole fucking point. So intensity matters. That you should be working hard. You should be pushing your limits. It should be difficult. And then the next point is, well, the cruel mistress of weight loss journey. And it's one that most people don't know. But one of the reasons why many times especially if you go hypercalorie deficits and things like this, that you plateau out on your weight loss journey is the more weight you lose, the more you lower your metabolism. So your metabolism runs high based on your body weight, based on how much weight you are carrying around, based on how heavy you are. This is an actual factor in it. So if you go and lose weight, your body will go, oh, well, we require less energy to continue to maintain where we're at, because there's less of you to do. So your metabolism actually ramps down. And so you need to understand that. And that's why weight loss often plateaus out. It's why if you're just going on an extreme calorie deficit, that those things often don't work. It's why we need to focus on putting in good amounts, like fucking massive amounts of protein into you. You also want to build muscle density as you go through it, because that is a metabolic booster. These kinds of things, it's not just about calories in, calories out. There is a good way to do it. And it's why I find that people who just shatter calories down will hit a plateau at some point. It is not a long-term effective solution. It's why I recommend the animal-based diet, because you just eat as much food as you humanly can, because it's just fucking protein and you are just slamming that protein down. That's what you want to be doing. That's where you want to be. Just more and more and more protein. And this will help with the weight loss. This will help with the body composition, because we don't just want weight loss, we want to shift body fat and replace it with muscle mass. You know, if you've seen my before starting Chasing Greatness photos to now, you'll see that the body composition has drastically, fucking drastically changed. I am within a kilo of the weight I was when I started. I have not had huge amounts of weight loss. I haven't had much fluctuations in that at all, but my body composition has changed drastically, and that's what you're actually chasing. You don't want weight loss, you want fat loss, and they are different fucking outcomes. So we need to attack that at a different rate and a different way. And it's why, you know, when you are heavily obese, you'll find that initial weight loss is quite easy if you go from 0 to anything. But it's why it also slows down really fast, because your body's like, well, this is what we were used to being at and running at and burning and what we needed to maintain our current size, and now we're going on this. And so it slows down your metabolism, and your weight loss journey plateaus or potentially rebounds back, especially if you just absolutely crashed the shit out of your metabolism through cutting calories really, really fucking low. You need to keep the protein high, the healthy fats high, keep those kinds of things, and you'll do much, much better. And then, you know, there are other things within that of, like, I talk about you build muscle from carrying weight around. And it's so fucking true. Like, you'll build dense strength muscle from doing weighted walks. Don't believe me? Have you ever looked at the calves of someone who is obese or has been obese? They have magnificent fucking calves. And that's from consistently carrying large amounts of weight around. It's just a fact. Their calves build into these really impressive things. Now, I've always had little calves. Something that has really annoyed me and something that I've struggled with. I've never seen such great development and progression in my calves as I have since I started doing weighted walks every day. And it's just that simple thing of walking, stepping every time with that extra weight has developed my calves really, really nicely. It goes the same. You're going to develop great density of strength through your quads, through your hamstrings, through your glutes, especially if you don't just walk flat. If you get out and you do bush walks, or the ones with stairs, or things like this, hills and stuff, you'll get muscle density from it. And this isn't just me taking stabs in the dark. Like, there are good papers that back this up. Hell, the army studied this because they wanted to find what was the optimal way to do this, the optimal way to, well, get their soldiers to be. And they figured out that I think the cutoff point was about 50 pounds before they started seeing that their guys were fatiguing out too much. But we're also talking, that's on an 8 to 12 hour march. That's a pretty big fucking difference between, you know, just going for a 45-minute walk. Like, for the moment when I push my walks, I do 30 kilos on my weighted walks. But these things add up. These things matter. And these are excellent known tricks, especially for the metabolic rate and burning body fat. It's an old bodybuilding trick. That's where it came from. It's where this notion for me to incorporate it into my program came from. I was like, well, I know bodybuilders when they're prepping for shows, because as they dial it down, as we just discussed, and got leaner and leaner, their metabolism goes down and it gets harder and harder for them to continue to burn body fat. So what some bodybuilders do is they wear weight vests to trick their body into thinking that they're heavier than they are. And so this increases their metabolic rate. And so that they continue to burn fat and continue to dial it down as they are preparing for the show. These kinds of things work. They are effective. And I wasn't aware of it. This is one of those serendipity things, because I'd been doing this for a while, and I told it to a friend, and he's like, oh, you're rucking. And I was like, what the fuck is rucking? And rucking is, especially in America, a really well-known concept. And it's exactly that, except using a backpack instead of a weight vest. And they'd done all the research. They'd gathered all the proof. This is a known thing that does work, that improves fitness, it improves cardiovascular health, it improves aerobic capacity, it improves strength, it improves posture, it improves weight loss, it improves muscle density, it improves, strength and conditioning, all these kinds of things. It's low impact on the joints. On and on and on and on this list goes. It's fucking phenomenal for you. But we still need to understand that it is a form of exercise. It's not just going for a la-di-da walk. It's progressively overloaded. It's meant to be hard. You're meant to push yourself. You're meant to do these kinds of things. And that's the gap between why, as we said at the start, lovely old mate fucking described, why aren't fat people skinny? Well, because they're not doing those things to continually progress themselves. That's the gap. If you keep pushing the limits with this, the results can be huge. As I said, it's the fucking cheat code. It's the easiest way to ramp things up and to get incredible fucking results on that. As we know, one of the recommendations is 10,000 steps for fat loss. We'll make a good portion of those 10,000 steps harder. Make them push yourself harder so that you get more bang for your buck. This is how we progress. This is how we get results. So, if you want that, if you want to truly dial it in and get the best possible fucking results for yourself, shoot me a message. Let's get you into Chasing Greatness Daily. Let's start that process now. Now, if you're not quite there yet, click the link in my bio, grab my top 10 tools to transform your mental toughness. And lastly, as always, if you enjoyed this, if it spoke to you, if you know someone who needs to hear this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. But most importantly, hit that subscribe button, because like everything in Chasing Greatness Daily, I am here every single day. No matter what, rain, hail, or shine, I will be here. I don't want you to miss that. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, because I'll be back again tomorrow, and I look forward to seeing you then.